How you guys doing this evening? I'm back at you guys with another presentation, and I want to talk about the genetic lottery. Somebody suggested that I make a presentation talking about this, so I'm gonna just give my thoughts on the genetic lottery. Um, the genetic lottery is it's 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 something that some people were fortunate enough to get, and some people weren't fortunate enough to get. The genetic lottery is just like scratching off a lottery ticket. It's just like winning the Powerball or the Mega Millions. That's what the genetic lottery is like. Um, some people got lucky and they hit the genetic lottery, and they're reaping all the benefits that come along with that genetic lottery. Um, when it comes to, and I believe people instinctively know this deep down, this is why a lot of people try to be defensive and deny this. When it comes to finding a mate, when it comes to finding love, it's all about the genetic lottery. You know, um, there are a lot of men that compensate with finances because that is what they need, to get in between a woman's legs. But people who hit the genetic lottery, they have what you call genuine attraction. And genuine attraction is something that you cannot put a price tag on. You can't put a price tag on genuine attraction. A man that a woman is attracted to, a man that a woman lusts for, you can't put a price tag on that because that's real, raw, unfiltered, genuine attraction. Can't put a price tag on that. See, a lot of men have to compensate with money. And I'm not bashing men who compensate with money. Some men have to compensate with money. But people who hit the genetic lottery are truly lucky because they have something that is genuine. They have something that is raw. They have real unfiltered attraction. You can't buy attraction, you know. Okay, if a woman tolerates you for money, I mean, she's just tolerating you for money. At the end of the day, you cannot buy raw attraction. You can't buy that, you know. Money only gets money is only used to compensate for the lack of. And unfortunately, some men have to use money to compensate for the lack of. But you can't buy attraction. That's why I truly feel that people who hit the genetic lottery, they are the luckiest people. People who hit the genetic lottery, those people are the true winners in life. They're the true winners. The people who hit the genetic lottery. Because as a man, if you're not a woman's physical type, then, you know, you're pretty much, you're something that you're pretty much just compensating if you're not a woman's physical type as a man. You're compensating for the lack of. This is why you have men that simp. This is why you have men that trick off because they're compensating for the lack of. And if you're not a woman's physical type, that's all you're doing. You're compensating. Because attraction is something that you cannot buy. You cannot buy attraction. That's one of the main reasons to why I want to be a millionaire, so I can be like Steve Harvey and compensate for the lack of. I can take a woman to Roof Chris. I could take a woman shopping, buy her some Louis Vuitton, Hermes. You know, I can compensate for the lack of, because I will never judge a man or try to, shoot a man down for tricking off or buying pussy. As a man, if you're not a woman's physical type, if you're not a man that women lust for, then that's all you're doing at the end of the day. You're compensating for the lack of. You're compensating for not being a woman's physical type, because you can't put a price tag on attraction. And this is why I say people who hit the genetic lottery, those people are the true winners in life. Um, life, that's brutal, but that's the truth. Um, it's unfortunate that only a set few of people were able to hit the genetic lottery, but it just goes to show you how unfair life is. And I feel as a man, if you're not a woman's first choice, you're just compensating. That's all you're doing is compensating. Just like, but I mean, what can you do if you're not a woman's first choice? It's just like men who take on the role of being a stepfather. They're compensating by playing the role of a stepdad, because they're not women's first choice. And as a man, if you're not a woman's first choice, there is nothing you can do about that. You just have to play the position that you in, you know? This is why I don't look down on men who compensate with money, on men who trick off on women. Because as a man, you got to compensate for the lack of. Just like Steve Harvey said on his show, he said, what can make a man who's not physically attractive sexy to women? A high paying 6-figure job, a luxury automobile, a nice home. These are the words of Steve Harvey. This is what you got to have as a man to make yourself sexy to a woman if the initial attraction is not there. And this is the reason to why I want to be a millionaire so bad, because money is the ultimate equalizer. Money, it compensates for a lot of things. It compensates for a whole lot of things. And money is a good way to compensate your way to some vagina. It's a good way. It's a good compensation. And that's why, men who are rich, they got it made. They got it made. Steve Harvey, he knows his wife is not attracted to him, but the money makes up for it. Those millions make up for it. The fame makes up for it. I just think, as a man, if you're not I'm not going to say I think, I know. If you're not a woman's first choice, then that just means she's only settling you for you. She's only settling for you because she's either hit the wall or she's just tolerating you for what you can provide financially. But what I see is that every man is just not, every man is just not, every man just don't got it. And it's sad to say it, but every man just don't got it. Every man don't have that sex appeal that can get a woman just wet in her pants. So I guess as a man, if if women don't find you physically appealing, you got to compensate with an expensive Chanel bag. You got to compensate with some expensive jewelry from David Yerman. You got to compensate with a Birkin bag from Hermes. If you're a man that is not sexually stimulating to a woman, if you're a man that a woman is not physically attracted to, you have to compensate with material possessions. You have to compensate with money and Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Prada and Fendi. You have to compensate with material possessions. If you're not a man that get a woman vagina wet off top, you know, if you're not Mr. Sexy to women, you got to compensate with that money. And that's the main reason to why I want a lot of money. So I can compensate with Louis Vuitton bags and Gucci bags and Prada bags and, expensive, lavish vacations, expensive dinner dates. That's what you got to do as a man when that physical attraction is not there. That's what you got to do. And I just feel that the people that hit the genetic lottery, those are the people that God truly favors. You know how in church they always used to say blessed and highly favored? Well, the people that hit the genetic lottery, those are the people that are blessed and highly favored. Everybody isn't blessed and highly favored. Some people are not blessed or favored at all. There are some people that God don't favor at all. And that's something I had to realize. This thing is not fair. It's not fair, but what can we do about it? The genetic lottery is only for those lucky ones. And the people that hit the genetic lottery, those people can tap themselves on the back and they can tell themselves that they're one of them ones. But unfortunately, certain guys are just not one of them ones. But you guys have a good evening. If I was God, I would have made everybody equal if I was God. Just go to show you that evidently the higher power, he wanted to screw some people over, and he did a good job of that. But you guys have a good evening. Talk to you soon.